Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to make a tier list on the new best characters because of the changes in the tier 17. There's actually new characters that are better, and also just having a better outlook on the game gives me a more understanding opinion of these characters. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Silverfang relies a lot on parries to get his attacks off. He does have a good combo. His moves are pretty good, but his overall DPS isn't the best. So that's going to land him in around B or C spot. Probably I'm going to say low of B because he's not very good in terms of DPS, which is again very crucial in this game. So you can't really run him on your team. His arms is all right. But doesn't really provide too much. Now Sonic, I'm putting Sonic up top, SS, because he's the best character in the game. Or at least one of them. He's awesome. He has health arms, which is pretty solid. But again, it's better on morale. It's very good with paired up with Dreamworld Saitama. And his damage is very good. He's also a crit character, which means this update kind of buffed him basically. He's a composure breaker, Atomic Samurai. He does all right. I'm probably gonna put him above Silverfang, but he's still pretty weak. But if you get him up potentials and stuff, you can do a decent amount of damage. And again, he's a skilled character that relies a lot on parries. So you're gonna see that these guys are really hard to play, but if you can execute them well, they can be pretty solid characters in general. I could hop him up to A because he's actually I'm gonna put him bottom of A actually. Actually, we'll leave him top B. Okay. So, next is Dreamworld Saitama. I'm probably gonna put him in S. He's a very solid character with an attack arms to basically, boost the morale character's attack. So if you have a morale team with Sonic and Saitama, you want to run the attack arms, and he's always gonna be on your morale team. He's a staple. So with that being said, you basically need him on any morale team. These two guys go hand in hand, except that Saitama is a little less independent, as well as the damage he does is alright. But I think Sonic's is a little higher. Plus building characters, Sonic does better on a better build than Saitama does because of his crit rate, and it just absolutely stacks. Whereas Saitama is an impassioned character. Arms Mogenos, we don't have him yet, but from what I've seen, he's a pretty good character. I'd say he might be kind of mid in terms of gameplay wise, but I don't know the damage yet, how much damage he does. So just gameplay, I'd probably put him in A, just middle of the pack, almost. Now we're gonna go for Fubuki. Fubuki is actually pretty solid now with crit being buffed, so I'm gonna probably put her in A. She's actually a pretty solid character. You just have to be very skilled. She's one of the most skilled characters in the games that revolves with like precision timing and rhythm. So you have to really time your stuff because there's a small window that you can use your moves, and then it gives a certain bonus. So again, Fubuki is very solid, but you just have to make sure you line your moves right. Tatsumaki. Tatsumaki is also very good. I might have a bias because I only have her on P2, whereas I have Sonic on P4. But Tatsumaki is decent. Her arms is awesome. I love her Dispel arms because it reduces defense for bosses. She's a ranged character who plays decent on AI, as well as main. Of course, you typically want to main her, but she doesn't have an assault arms on attack yet, so she's not going to do that much damage. If you have Saitama, Sonic, and then Tatsumaki on your team, Tatsumaki's not going to do too much until we get an Assault Arms, which is, of course, Arms Genos. So she's not going to do too much damage. But she does do a lot of damage, like in terms of like raw damage. She's really good at that, as well as critical hits give her insane damage. But without the Arms card, she probably won't take Sonic head to head. But of course, we have to wait until then. Golden Ball, bro. I'm putting Golden Ball freaking above these clowns. I'm putting him top of B. He's terrible to play on your own. He's really hard to play, but on AI he kind of cooks, and that can't be said for Silverfang or Atomic Samurai. They both suck ass on AI, and it's very blatant that they can't do with their job. If you just open the damage stats and you see these two, they will not frag out. They will not do damage. Snek is good on AI. He's a little weird to play as a pilot, but I like him. I'm gonna put him under Fubuki. He does damage, but he's just really weird to play, and he just feels like, how do you say it? It feels like you're playing with your left hand, or something like that. It feels like you're writing with your left hand. Just feels weird. But he's decent. He's pretty good on AI, and he does damage. He's better on single bosses rather than swarms. He doesn't do too much on swarms. Now, Sprig Mustachio, we're bringing him bottom of S, possibly higher, possibly higher. Now, Sprig Mustachio does one thing really well, and that is his E move, which is his second ability. You just hold it down, charge it. It does so much damage. You can charge it back up with your M1, and just rinse, repeat. He has accurate dodge, so once that's triggered, he can activate his ability faster, and it just does so much damage to the point where you want to use him in a lot of challenges in Maelstrom, like Swift. You want to use it in even like the fighting like the human, where he drops coins every single time. You also want to fight him in like multiple strikes. Like he's just very, very versatile. Awesome. Stinger. Ooh. Stinger's gonna go. Oh boy. I actually like Stinger as a morale composure breaker because he's the only morale composure breaker. So I have a bias towards Stinger, a pretty heavy bias, in fact. But his damage per second sucks ass. He dies a lot, and he does end up getting knocked back a ton. So we're gonna put him above Golden Ball, if I'm gonna be honest. But of course, my personal opinion, probably bottom of A. But we're gonna leave him top of B because he is kind of shitty. Um, so yeah, really not at all too good. Puri, I'm probably gonna put here. Same thing with same issue with Stinger, where his damage is pretty bad, but he does have an SSR cleanse arms, and he also does do decent damage when you do parry with him. Thing is when you're playing with him, the one thing he can take away from you is the pilot spot. You always want to play Puri on pilot, because on AI he just doesn't do that good, and he doesn't really be a tank for the team. So if you're looking to stay alive, Puri is actually a decent option, as well as Silverfang, of course. But his damage isn't that sustainable, and of course you want to probably pilot like Sonic or something as your character to deal damage. King's not out. Sonic, I'd probably put him up here with this Sonic because of his attack arms. They kind of are a similar character. Obviously, Sonic's pretty high up there. This Sonic's decent. I might drop him. I'm gonna drop him. Probably ahead of Tatsumaki. Because the thing with Sonic is that you kind of have to build him up. It's pretty hard to. If you don't have him built up, he doesn't do that well. And this guy, even when he wasn't built, did well. So that's my main difference from these two. Smile Man, very strong. I'll probably put him here. And we're probably gonna drop this guy at the bottom. Silverfangs might actually Silverfang does decent on some parts. I'm trying to think. I'll leave these guys where they are. Where was I? I think I was here, right? Smell Man, very good with combos. He's awesome to play. He's pretty consistent. He does well on AI. So he's a very well-rounded character. So he's like almost a jack of all trades. He can do basically anything. AoE, he can fight bosses one-on-one. He can be piloted. He can be AI'd. Awesome to have if you build him up right. Saitama, he's actually my go-to for a lot of the defense maelstroms. So for that, I'm gonna put him around Puri, maybe even actually behind because P6 Puri just solos. But he's very solid in terms of parrying. It's very easy to parry. He does decent damage. He's pretty slow though, but he does get a lot of parries off and just does damage. AI, he's also pretty shitty. Just for that, again, I might drop him here. But he has utility, so he's gonna be used. Now for Genos, we're gonna put him. I feel like he's on the same level as as Sprig Mustachio, maybe higher because AI is very good on him. He just does so much damage. If you have a good build, he just blows shit up. He does damage. He targets really well. You can defeat a lot of enemies. You can take down bosses. Very, very solid. Very good character to play. And you know, he's just jack of all trades. Now, overpower Genos, we're probably gonna put him here. Now, I have a very good build on him, so for me, the characters that I would run on a team would be Sonic, Saitama, Tatsumaki, and Genos because of the builds I have on them. And as you can see, I all have them ranked high. Could be bias, mind you, but I don't think Genos is very good of a character because he has a very good build, very good stats, all everything around. But when his damage count comes out, he doesn't do the best. He's not the best on the team. And I think that's very obvious. So for the amount of copies I have of his potential and stuff, he really doesn't. He does not carry that much. Like if I had this shit on like Saitama, for example, this guy would be clapping cheeks out there. But of course, no. Moomin Rider, we're gonna rename this category to just Moomin Rider. He just goes to the bottom. I've tried everything. I've had good builds on him. I've had literally max impassion, max resolute attack, of course max's character affix, max resolute rage, or some shit like that. I run into a battle. This guy puts up the worst numbers I've ever seen. He just can't outfrag shit, and he's a morale healer, so he really doesn't. He really does not pan out. Even survival wise, he doesn't do well. So the healing arms literally doesn't really help at all. He's just not good. Zombie Man's decent. He has a good SR attack arms. He has the best SR attack arms in the game for Assault or Tatsumaki because you can run that as well as composure reduction. As a breaker, he's all right. He's really very niche. I'm gonna put him bottom of A. He's very very niche where you have to basically lose and like you have to lose health to get cooldowns and to spam. His gun mode is very good. His axe mode is very bad. So just for that, I might put him above Saitama. Maybe, probably ahead of Pri. These actually can be viable at times, and I actually made Zombie Man before because he was awesome, dude. I loved his gun mode. Lightning Max, dude, this guy's insane. I'll put him here. Lightning Max just has a flurry of attacks. He has an initiation move with his E ability where he like kicks and dashes towards the enemy. He has a Q. It's kind of weird to use, but you get the hang of it easy. And basically his R move is what it's good. It's like a machine gun kick. It just does a lot of damage. It KOs a lot of things. It takes out a lot of things. Very very good. I have a lot of good things to say about Lightning Max. But he's a very simple character. And I feel like there's a lot more potential that could be unlocked with him. Pun not intended. Now for Lily, Lily's weird where I can't really do too much with her. She's a composure breaker, so if you don't have Atomic Samurai, of course Lily. And you can see I ranked Lily above Atomic Samurai. But yeah, she just does really good. And really good in her battles. AI again. She relies on accurate dodges, but not to the point where it griefs her AI. She does a lot of damage. She's a very good kit. She's very fun to play, so that's some good positives for her. Now, if these guys are P6, like if we're actually talking about SSRs as P6, we probably move them up here, or like up maybe like mid A, and move Fubuki up. But of course, we're just talking about like maybe P1, P2 SSRs, and of course P6 SRs because that's around the same amount of value. But if you're a whale, of course, prioritize SSRs because they'll just be better. Obviously, the characters are so hard to get. So if you do have them maxed out, of course, use your maxed out SSRs. Now, E-Iron, same shit. I'm going to put him here, middle. He does good with his parry, he does damage, he has some good explosive damage. His stats are good, his build's good. I'm actually going to put him maybe above Lily. He's really cool. He has a cleanse as an assault, which is awesome. But that kind of ends it for him. He's not like the best. He does do damage, which is good. Oh. And crit builds, again, are being buffed. So I might actually move him here because crit builds are getting better. Again, Snex doesn't really change. So this is basically where we're at. As you can see, a lot of the crit players are really good now. And the Metal Knight is a negative crit hit user, and he is all right. I'd say Metal Knight. Oh boy, where would I put this guy? I'd probably put him here. I thought he was really good at first, but then I checked his damage. He's not the best. Maybe here. Um, but yeah, he's not the best in terms of damage. I really couldn't build him that well. But I've tried. I actually think he does all right. But again, with the new crit stuff, you want to play a good crit team. Like if I were running like good crit builds, I'd run Sonic, Tatsumaki, Saitama, and then Genos or something like that. So here's my list. I did forget one guy. It's a My Mask. So I'm gonna quickly slap him in right now. Alright, so now I have a My Mask. I'm gonna put a My Mask probably bottom of A, or maybe like here. He does very good in terms of damage, and he does have almost limitless amounts of damage with how fast you can hit your notes. But again, he's really skilled. He's a very fast character, probably the fastest in the game in terms of movement speed, running around. Does a lot of damage. You have to watch out when you get hit though, because it can really mess up your rhythm. And again, he's a very masterful character. You can really master this guy and get good value out of him. So he's very, very solid. But yeah, this basically does it for the tier list. Comparing it to the other tier list, I don't really know. I didn't look at my other tier list, so I don't have, a repeat of the last one. But again, this is just what I think. Silver Fang is basically, Moomin Rider's terrible. Silver Fang does no damage. Atomic Samurai, he's not that good. Golden Ball, he's alright, but he's good on AI. So Stinger, he's one of my favorite characters in the game, but I'm gonna be honest, he's not good. Saitama has his roles. Brave Puri is a good tank. Zombie Man can do damage at times, and then Sneck's just Sneck. Genos is underwhelming, but can be strong. And these guys are just all pretty underrated characters, but they actually do a very good job, and they're very good at being, like average or maybe even above average. They're just good at doing what their job is, which is just to be a fill for your team. Other than ER, which you probably should main. And then Metal Knight, very good on AI, but obviously you don't want to play Metal Knight, so he's actually very good for utility that way. He's good to fill in your roster spot. Fubuki, potential for pilot. She can do damage with a good build. My Mask, good damage overall. Just very jack of all trades, but also at the same time has a high skill ceiling. Spring Mustachio just does damage. Genos does damage. Same thing, very flexible in terms of his range. Saitama supports Sonic super well and does his own damage very well, as well with intricate combos that make him very fun to use. Tatsumaki, good damage. She's been one of the best since the game started. Sonic relies on dodges a lot, can be very, very strong. And then, of course, Prisoner Sonic just being top of the mountain. But yeah, that does it. Just do keep a note that all of these characters can be run on a team, except Moomin Rider. And with any build that's a good build, you will be able to use these characters to their fullest, except Moomin Rider. So yeah. Have a good day, everybody, except Moomin Rider, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.